Hi, welcome to Astrology for Gann Traders. My name is Olga Morales. Now, I'm just produced this short video to promote my new book, which I've called the Gann Files, because it's going to be a series of 8 books, and the first volume is called Dawn of the Seventh Day. The book is dedicated obviously to W.D. Gann. His work has put me on the path not taken by many and ridiculed by most. The discoveries I have made would not have been if I were not searching for clues and keys left behind in his novel The Tunnel Through the Air. It proves the genius of W.D. Gann. This book is just the beginning. It's the alpha point and so much more to unveil before the omega point. And these are my initials, OM. So the exciting thing was when I was trying to work out a date to publish my book, I started just doing some charts, and the most amazing thing I discovered was that when I cast the chart for the third Saturn return from when Gann actually published Tunnel Through the Air, which was on the 9th of May 1927, it actually fell on the 14th of November 2015, which happened to be my birthday, actually my 50th birthday. So I knew that was the sign, and that was the time that I had to get this book out, and especially because the book actually focuses on the end of a cycle that occurs in 2016, next year. So I knew I had to get it out so people can have access to it before that happens, so they understand the changeover of energy and the alpha omega point. So this was the most exciting thing. The Saturn return, for those of you who don't are new to astrology, it's like a solar return, which is our birthday every year, but every planet has a length that it takes to go around the sun, and Saturn takes around 29 to 30 years. I mean, Gann rounds it off to 30 years, so three of them, it's almost 90 years since he wrote Tunnel Through the Air. And so, but it came back to the exact degree of where it was on the date of the 9th of May 1927. So for me, that was a very auspicious sign that it happened to fall on my birthday. So let's have a look at what, and another thing that I found, which, I always say there are no coincidences. Everything is at a cosmic pattern to it. What I found was that when I had the center chart here, I've got the dawn of the seventh day, which was the actual Saturn return and the time that it occurred. And then around the outside, I've got W.D. Gann's chart. And can you see that the actual chart for the book has the part of fortune at 15 degrees of Gemini, and that happens to be the exact degree of WD's sun. So there's the more of these charts I do, I can just see the cosmic connections between, the continuation of, what could I say, the continuation of knowledge that extends, and it's actually meant to be. So that's why I'm so excited about writing the books, because it's an accumulation of all the research I've done when I got into WD, and even before that, because I've been an astrologer for a long time before I actually got into WD Gann's work. But even prior to that, I was already delving into a lot of the esoteric knowledge, and going into the Gann path just extended what I already knew, and you do move into areas that most people don't have time for, actually, because it's like deep research. So the files is basically looking, I'm just going to be talking about some of the discoveries that I've made along the way, and I've never claimed to be a Gann expert. I'm just a dedicated Gann researcher, and like the feedback that I've had from people who have already bought the book, they're very excited about it, because it's, sometimes you need to see how someone else sees something for the light or the penny to drop or the light bulb to go off, and even people that have been studying Gann for many years have given me amazing feedback about how it's given them answers to things that they were never able to work out themselves. So that's the whole aim of what I'm doing. So anyway, this part of fortune and Gann's sun is again very auspicious. Okay, so the chapters in volume 1, the first chapter 7 days, 2 is Septimal Law, 3 is the Law of 3, the fourth chapter is the 36-year Hebrew cycle, then there's the World Horoscope, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and Bible. And just looking at the Great Sabbath, according to end time prophecies in the Bible, often called the harvest or the rapture, many believe that we're just about to complete the sixth day or 6,000 years from creation and soon to enter the seventh period called the millennium or the Great Sabbath, Messianic era, a period of reconstruction, readjustment, and eventual peace and harmony. This is the expected time of the appearance of the Messiah, or for the Christians, the second coming of Christ. So this is where we're at. The book's around this seventh day, and the reason being is that a lot of what we have been taught in Scripture is centered on this. So we have to have a look at why and what it all means. And the dawn of the seventh day is what I've called the book. According to scripture prophecy, creation of 6 days translates to 6,000 years and 1,000 years of rest. Okay, so God created the world in 6 days and one of rest. Now each day was ruled by a planet. So the sun rules the first day, the moon the second, Mars the third, Mercury the fourth, Jupiter the fifth, Venus the sixth, and Saturn was always the seventh day of rest. Now 6 days of creation and one of rest, Saturn is the planet of rest. On the Sabbath, or Saturn, or Saturn's day, no work was permitted due to Saturn being the most malignant planet, connected with miseries, plagues, cold, and darkness. The planet of old age, and old father time, also known as Cronus in Greek, he was often portrayed with a sickle or an hourglass, similar to the Grim Reaper. Saturn was connected with the sickle of the harvest because Saturn is exalted in Libra, the sign of the harvest. So there's a lot of symbolism, astrological symbolism, encoded in the Bible. And, you know, at some stage, if we recall that if we know that the Bible was really only for the priests or the high initiates in the mystery schools originally, it wasn't supposed to be in the hands of the masses. And a lot of the stories are actually symbolic, not to be taken literal. And there's another level to it. And the symbology is what is the one to decipher. So when you know a little bit, I suppose, of the astrology behind it, it actually makes it easier to understand what was actually happening. So as I said, each planet is ruled by a planet. This order is called the diurnal order, each planet ruling the days of the week. So the first day was Sunday. A second day with Monday, we've got to go down. This is a 7-pointed star. Down to Monday. Then the third day is Tuesday, so we go across again. Then the fourth day was Wednesday, which is ruled by Mercury. The fifth day by Jupiter and Thursday. And the sixth day is ruled by Venus, which is our Friday. And then the seventh day is Saturn. Saturn's day, that's why there was a Sabbath and the day of rest. And all to do with the planets, because the priests in the ancient world would honour each planet every day, and every hour again was ruled by a planet. So nothing was done without knowing the planetary lords and rulers of the day, the hour, and even smaller cycles are done to break up even the hour. And so there was ritual with everything. Prayers were done at certain times according to what planetary rulers were around. So the Great Sabbath is the largest cycle. It's the order of the 7th millennium that began in 4032 BC. We are currently ending 1,000 years of Venus, which is Friday, and just beginning the millennium of the Sabbath, which is Saturn. That's 2017 AD, the long prophesied 1,000 years of rest. So that's where we're at. So next year, 2016, is the end of this huge cycle and the beginning of a new one. That's why it's important. It's very significant. This is the 7 days of creation, um, sort of happening right now. So I talk about septimal law a lot, and if you look at the word septimal, you can see sept, which means seven, and the time. So it's got to do with seven, the time of seven, and the law. If you look at this picture, which I took myself when I was in Notre Dame in Paris a couple of years ago, you can see that it's the central panel of Notre Dame, and you can see that Jesus is in the middle. So he's on the throne above the seat of judgment in Libra. Libra is the seventh sign of the zodiac. You can see the scale in here. On one side, we've got all the angels. We've got angels here and saints. There's saints and angels. There's the angel and the saints, okay? And then on the other side, we have the devil. Here, can you see that demon? And all these sort of damned people, there's demons on this side. And what it is, it's septimal law, is all the saints before the angel is actually the time of year. So this is March to September. Okay, the scales of Libra representing judgment at the equinox, autumn equinox. We're talking about the northern hemisphere here. After that, everything turns dark between October and February when we get into autumn and winter. Okay, so that's symbolic of the seasons. But this whole septimal law applies to everything that grows in nature and even the stock market. And so understanding these principles is what Gann was so focused on, you understanding the cycles in the Bible and the symbolism behind it. And that's my whole aim in Dawn of the Seventh Day. It's not just looking at the biblical cycles, it's also how does that apply to looking at cycles, stock market cycles, which is like the most fascinating thing you could ever make any connection between the two. So that's one little snippet of it. There's also the Great Pyramid of Giza is a testament to the ancient belief of septimal law. That is, seven gods or principles rule the destiny and cyclical evolution of life on Earth. The Great Pyramid of Giza is prophecy in stone. I have found a cycle encoded in the Great Pyramid, and the Bible is due to end in 2016 and a new cycle to start on the 21st of March 2017. So when I was doing work on WD, and I picked up Safariel's work, he has a cycle in there called the 36 Hebrew cycle. And if you have a look at that, it ends at a specific time and starts new. And then I knew this cycle from the Great Pyramid of Giza and the measurements there. And then when I saw them at, being the same, of course I had to write about it. And that's why the book is so, important. Because I bring these two themes together as well in it. And there's a culmination happening, the ending out of an old and the beginning of a new. Thank you for listening. If you're interested, my website is astrologyforgayandtraders.com.au, and that's the link to my book called Dawn of the Seventh Day. Okay, thank you.